5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve. This is Live with Neve. Iconic musicians, comedians, and entertainers of all types. Interviews, comedy, and God knows what else. Hold on!
All right. Happy, what is it, Tuesday? My Lord, I can't even keep up with the dates this past month. It's been so crazy.
It's Tuesday.
Today on Live with Neve, we're going to go ahead and be talking to the wonderful talent that Brian MacDonald. Brian is a veteran is all I can say. The guy's had more than 20,000 gigs in the past 12 years. He's just an amazing character. I'm glad to have him for a friend. The way I met Brian was, I don't know what, it's 4 years ago. We were all in the same Warren Zevon club, and I think I reached out to you. Was it about the Z-Con, or how did we first get talking? I think that was how it went.
I believe it was in the planning for the first Z-Con.
Ah, yes. Okay, got it. Well, anyhow, enough of the Z-Con. Let's talk about what are you up to these days? I know I've been watching your home feeds, and I think they're good. You're obviously doing well. I see you got lots of viewers and listeners, which is cool as hell. Just tell me what got you to that point. I think I know, but I think the audience would like to hear.
March 8th, I played my last gig. From 1969 to March 8th, 2020, I averaged over 200 one-nighters a year. Been on the planet 25,000 days, a little over, and I spent over 12,000 of those days on a stage somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly, a curtain drops. You don't do it anymore. You might do it in the future, but it'll never be the same. The world doesn't go back. You never do exactly the same. And I was faced with that. It wasn't just my job, it wasn't just what I did, it's what I am. I like to play music, and once I've written it, I play it for people. So I had to figure out right away.
How long did that take? How long did that take for you to figure it all out?
I did my first online show in April. Didn't take me long.
That's about the same time I started the show. It's funny, Brian. About the same time you figured it out, I kind of had an idea, and here we are.
Yeah, I just a couple of things. When you've done it as long as I've done it, and as many times as I've done it, my audience goes to the club because that's where I'm playing. My audience wasn't really people who were at that club 7 nights a week, and then they liked it when I played it. They went to that club because I was playing there.
Right.
And I played those clubs because that's where a musician had to go to play music for people.
Right.
The club was this middling thing that wasn't, I just decided wasn't necessary for my survival. And if it was going to disappear, and a guy like me would have played until they brought me out in the back and shot me.
We wouldn't want that to happen. I don't know about that. That would be pretty bad. The old Yeller treatment, as they saw.
Oh, no.
I swear to God, it's just one of those things. It was like, yeah, I would have probably played until they brought me out back at the end of a gig and just shot me, But instead, the whole template crashed and burned. Everything has to be built from the beginning again.
Yes.
And I saw, as strange as it sounds, there was an opportunity to reinvent myself, to further establish the kind of artist I was trying to be in the first place, to get closer to the people, who were my audience. A lot of my audience, and I appreciated this all through the years. A lot of my audience, I would look out and see these faces at these little clubs and think, oh, these people, I love them. They wouldn't be here at this smelly little ashtray of a club if I wasn't here, but they're staying all night. They're going to listen to all the songs. And it just became something where I could even get closer to these people and show them how much I appreciated the years they were going around from gin mill to gin mill and then yelling out the names of my songs. So I could go out and play my songs and the artists I respected. Warren, Jackson, Bruce, JT, the people I respected. I didn't have to go out there and put on some kind of drunken Margaritaville brown-eyed girl show.
Oh, thank God. I don't think we'd be friends, man.
Yeah.
I'm kidding you. I played it too many times, too.
Listen, if that's what you have to do, okay.
Yes.
And if that's what you love to do, that's okay too. That wasn't my calling from the start. I got all this weird success in the beginning that put my head in a strange place. By the time it's 1973, I'm opening for James Taylor. I'm with Paul Simon. I'm playing these shows. So
tell me, I have to ask you, when you opened up for Paul Simon, how was that? I've heard so many stories about Paul being a little.
I sang alongside Paul Simon.
Right.
In a show. He was a guest backup singer. I was backing vocals and band leader at that time for a show with, hold on, it gets hazy. Jay and the Americans.
Okay.
And it was at Nassau Coliseum, however big that place is.
Oh, yeah. I've been in there many times.
Yeah, I played. And Paul Simon sang backup parts. So I'm standing, next to Paul Simon, and that was quite a trip.
Wow. That was cool. So anyway, let me ask you, was he a good guy to work with? Was he easy to get along with? Some of my friends said he can be.
He's a pro. He's a pro. He knew his parts. He knew what to sing. We were singing oldies. So it was all songs we all grew up on.
Right.
So I'm singing the baritone part, and he would sing a tenor harmony, whatever. It was just a moment that happened. James Taylor was a lesson for a young man because I would come on stage and just about set myself on fire.
Oh no, you had pyro.
And he would amble out after, sit down, play the song, and knock the audience out. So that's where you learn less is more.
Yes.
Tried to learn it my whole life, but I'm a little more an upbeat person. I try and be as mellow as I can.
Right.
By the way, this is how do I have to get this in here? I want you to notice that I'm. Hold on, everything's backwards.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, that mirror thing's going to mess you up.
That's my Walter mug. I also have my Lebowski mug, but this is my Walter mug from a friend of mine, Christmas present. So I'm not leaving. I'm staying.
Good.
Hell yeah. That's good. Well, I'm sitting here. I'm drinking my coffee, or tea rather. I've stopped drinking coffee. I don't know. Stuff makes my stomach crowdy, but I love drinking a good dose of heavy-duty caffeine in the morning. Makes me a coffee achiever, or a tea achiever, or whatever the hell I am.
It is. What day is this?
It's Tuesday. I asked the same question when I woke up.
Yeah, I never know what day it is.
Christmas show. Yes, for your viewers. The Christmas show will be on premiering my Christmas online show. Will be on Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It premieres on YouTube.
Great. Well, I hope
So
you
that'll
hear
be
that,
fun.
everybody.
So if you're not doing anything, sit back, indulge, abide, attend, have a good time. We do.
Well, I can tell everybody out there in Radio Land, I will tell you that Brian has an excellent show.
Did you guys freeze?
Your screen is frozen, but I can hear you. I have your disembodied head sitting there on the monitor. Oh my gosh. Brian's checked out for just a second. He'll be back in with us any moment. So Julie,
Yes.
I'm going to send out some links to Brian's show, and I hope lots of the folks out there, if anybody's out there watching who's seen Brian at the ZCon or seen me stumbling around, here he is. He's back.
Hey, I'm back.
Here he is.
No, that was good because as it brought me back through to re-enter the studio, it reminded me that it has this little thing at the bottom, and it reminded me that decent lighting makes me look good.
Good. Oh, you saw that.
We always try to make you look good, man.
You look fine.
My favorite.
Don't worry, Brian. You got a great face for radio, pal.
And I should know, I worked in radio for over 20 years. You have a television face.
Definitely.
You know, voice-wise,
yes,
it brings
definitely
me back to when you say that. Back in the 70s, you could make money doing commercials.
Yeah,
like,
still can.
Real money.
If you can get it, yeah, it pays really well.
You would get checks every month.
Yep, your royalties.
Right.
Yep.
And I nailed 2 in this.
Oh, it was a good
man.
story too, man.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
It was a good story.
That is. I hate it when that happens. Everybody, if you're watching, we're sitting here. We're live with Brian MacDonald, and please, it's Brian MacDonald with an M-A, not an M-C. If you're interested in checking him out, you can go on my Facebook friends list. He's there prominently, and hopefully we'll have him back on in just a minute. There's some kind of audio flukery, I have to say. Is that a better word than fuckery? I'm sorry. I'm up early.
Do that again.
You can't do nothing with me. I tell you, the people who run the show, they're always screaming at me. What is with this guy? He's out of his mind.
That's why I say it's a good thing.
She's half crazy too.
It's a good way
to work with him. I'm sorry.
It's a good thing we don't have to worry about the FCC on here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, remember, anybody who's watching this, if you're offended by a bad word, we try to behave most of the time. However, this show is it's adult. It's rated R, and we really don't go out of our way to put a bunch of profanity out there. But excuse me, sometimes there's just no better word. Sometimes it's called for.
It is. And like I said before in a show last week, I said it is the perfect word. It is the quintessential word that is universally used and to express any emotion.
Oh, here he is. We've got him back.
Yay. And
so Brian,
off, man.
There you go.
I hate those pesky Verizon lines and all this crap. Isn't it amazing, Brian? We're sitting here. We're sitting here, though, we're talking. You're in Hartford, Julie's in Florida, and I'm here. And I have to say, we live in an amazing age. In spite of the
I know how to find my way back to you every time it throws me off, okay?
That's no problem. That's good. That's good.
Right.
So you learn that. That's a bonus because that's one of the hardest things we have is to get everybody, make sure everybody's in the right room because it is confusing.
I remember talking about when it threw me off and I came back. Okay, so you guys are younger than me, so you'll find this funny, man. In the 70s, they paid money, and I nailed 2 of them. So.
Right, I heard you say that. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you were kids, if you ever heard commercials for Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. All right. I
guy
probably
who
bought.
said-
Really?
I probably bought them just because
Yeah.
of you, man. My mom's like, "Are you gonna buy any more of these?" It's like my girlfriend
Oh,
asked me, "Are you gonna buy another guitar?"
And
I say, "No,
And this
no,
was-
that I've had that for years." Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to step
yeah,
on you, Brian.
plus the other commercial I nailed was Weebles.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Can you do the bit for us? Go ahead and do the bit for us, man.
Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yes.
Yes, people, you've heard it live with Brian.
Weebles
Brian
wobble.
these
McDonald,
things-
the man, the myth, the legend. And what's the other one? Do the other bit. I want to hear that one too, man. Now that we got you on.
I was just this voice. Hot Wheels. I was just that rugged. I forget the script. Something like Hot Wheels, roar them down the track, match them, collect them. Something like that.
Break them on your brother's face. Do whatever.
Yeah. Throw them at each other.
All these things that you want to be when you're young, the artistic things you're going to accomplish, and all these weird chances that I got. So also in 74, yeah, 74. That the big TV show at the time was Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
So, oh yeah. So they needed a soundtrack album. They needed a soundtrack album to go along with all the toys they were selling, Mego toys,
Wow.
all the little figurines.
Right.
So I was hired out to co-write and record and sing all these Planet of the Apes songs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Yeah, oh my God. And
That's so
I brought
cool.
in my band at the time, and we recorded the songs and sang them. And then the album sold like hotcakes, all the little kids in the world. And what happened was that year, I had a week at Max's Kansas City, which
Okay.
was the club. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-oh, am I freaking up on you? Did you lose me?
No, we have you.
Okay.
You're frozen. You're frozen, but I can't hear you.
All right. Well, I'll just keep talking. Who cares?
There you
So-
go. It'll catch up.
It'll
Yeah,
catch
it will.
up.
If it doesn't, it doesn't. Hey, it's a great picture of me. Yeah, sure. So anyway, we did the album, and then we were hired out. I had a week at Max's Kansas City as a showcase thing with this famous other guy, and I had my own showcase, and it was during the week of Thanksgiving. So the toy company that we had, and everything coincided in 1 week. So they ended up saying, look, you're down here for the week of Thanksgiving. Why don't you guys get all the ape makeup on, dress up as the apes, and be the apes on the float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we're in our
cool.
20s. We're in our 20s. How are we going to resist this?
Hell yeah, I'd do it now.
No matter
I'm in
what
my
age.
60s.
So that's what we did. We got all the ape stuff on. We go down, we're in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and we're the apes on the float. And my God, we were in the cave at one point, and don't forget it was the 70s, and we were in our 20s, and we were in the cave having our own good time. going down, Broadway or whatever in Manhattan. And at the time, Ed McMahon, remember that name?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Was the
sir.
announcer.
Yes,
And we're in
correct, sir.
and we're just hysterical that we're doing this.
Oh, I
And all of a
bet.
sudden, the float stops, and we hear on the loudspeakers, millions of people, we hear the loudspeakers go, "Hey, where are those apes?" And we realize it's us, and we're just sitting in the cave forgetting what we're supposed to do. Yeah, so we go flying out of the thing, and we're waving at Ed McMahon, and then we play Max's Kansas City that night. 70s was the time, let me tell you, man.
Oh my God.
That sounds like great fun.
'80s was just as crazy.
Yes, they were. All those stories about me, remember, they're alleged. There's no truth to any of it. I do not recall.
Do you want me to go back and come back so my picture won't be frozen?
Absolutely.
Sure, if you want.
No, do you want me to do that?
You know what you could
Oh,
do?
we're
At the bottom, you should see a stop camera button or a cam mic button, and click those, and that should refresh you so you don't even have to leave.
Cam.
Yeah, at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom, boom. I hit cam, and it took me off of you guys, right? So should I hit it again?
Yep.
All right.
Hit it again. Hit it again.
Yeah. All right, let's see what happens there.
Here we go.
Come on, honey.
Come on, everybody.
Am I there?
Watching, you want to...
Nope, not yet.
Okay, Brian, why don't you go ahead and sign out and sign back in? I think we're getting some squirreliness because of the internet. Sorry, folks. Brian will be right back with us.
Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. He's coming back. He's here. Almost here.
I'm messing around here, baby.
The little circle.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We just can't. We can't see you yet.
But we hear you.
All right. So you want me to sign out and come back in?
Just Neil.
Yeah, I think so, Brian. Because we're just getting a big black screen. So if you could call in, that'd be great.
Right.
Okay. In the meantime. All right. We'll see you in a minute.
I'm gonna leave.
Right. Yes, and come on back in. All right, everybody. I want to talk to you about animals and Christmas.
Good.
See, this is my cat. This is Cooper Davis Winston Churchill Roosevelt. What do you say? Say hi. Hi, everybody. Anyhow, if you have a pic of your favorite pet, we'd like everybody in our fan group to go ahead and take a picture of you with your kitty. Tell him why he's special. This guy's special because normally he just loves to sit and purr. He's sitting on my chair next to me, and he just hangs out all day as I'm doing my thing. For everybody who's just joined us, Brian MacDonald will be back with us shortly. We have some great guests coming up this week. I've got country. We've got some Prague. We have some amazing guests after the first of the year, which I don't want to say too much because it's not time to advertise it yet, but we have some really great players. I have an interview coming up next week. We're going to have our interview with Jerry Marotta. Jerry Marotta has played drums for Paul McCartney, Peter Gabriel, Roberta Flack, Indigo Girls. Excuse me. If you have seen any of those groups, you've heard and seen his expertise. I've seen him play with Jackson, and he's just a great drummer, and he's a friend of mine, and I was so glad we went up to his studio in upstate New York in Woodstock, and we recorded an interview with him. Spent about 2 hours on it, but we'll be editing it down to an hour. That show will be pretty good. He's just a funny guy, and his station ID for us, Julie, you're going to love this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, he did a great one. So Brian's back. Let's see if we can get Brian back in the fold here. There. All right. Can you hear us, mate?
Hi, guys.
Hey.
So let's get back. We left it. You were playing at Max's Kansas City that night, and then you went and you were doing this game somewhere.
We were reminiscing.
Yes, you were reminiscing.
We had moved. We could move off of that. What would you like to talk about?
Well, let's talk about. I'd like to talk and ask you about your guitar, your Telecaster. I know it's not a standard Telecaster, and I love the hell out of the sound on it. So tell us a little bit about that thing.
Actually, that guitar is it's not a Telecaster. It's a Godin. Godin.
Right. Yes, I'm familiar with the brand. Cool.
But it's an old one, 1980 something. And as usual, they don't make them quite the same anymore. And so that one is, the holy grail to me. That's part of my sound. that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I noticed the first time I saw you play, I was like, this guitar sounds a little too good for a standard Tele, and I didn't realize it was a Godin. That explains why, especially one that old.
Well, it's actually surprisingly, and I've just learned how to use it different ways. It's an acoustic guitar. That has no pickups, electromagnetic pickups. That's a Baggs pickup stuck inside that little hollow body, and it's acoustic strings, and it's an acoustic guitar.
Wow.
But it can sound like a Tele. Yeah, so it can sound like a Tele, and if you mess around with the tone controls, and you pull mid-range out and things like that, it can sound like a guitar. It can sound like a beautiful acoustic, or it can sound like kind of a clean, little bit overdriven Tele. And all you have to do is mess with the tone control on the guitar itself. I don't use any pedals, none.
Great. We like that.
I plug it in.
Great.
There you go.
Yeah. That's always my favorite. It's like I never saw Danny Gatton or any of those guys, Roy Buchanan, using a shitload of pedals, you know? So tell me, who were you digging with? Who were you when you were growing up? You talked about your influences. When actually did you start playing music?
When that's primeval. I don't. My father sat me down. I don't have any earlier memories in life, and I'm talking therefore 2, 3, 4. I don't have any earlier memories other than holding a guitar or really early sitting at my dad's drum set. That was really the first, after a while, by the time I was like 10, 11, I was teaching drums.
Wow.
And playing gigs.
Very cool.
That was drums was it. I didn't, I was always a drummer. And I played guitar as a secret. That was my holdback. Everybody in high school, everybody knew I was Brian the drummer. The singing guy who played guitar, that was a little bit more of a holdback. That was my secret.
Right.
And when I got out of high school in '69, in the summer of '69, I made it straight out to LA and lived on Venice Beach. And somehow I was more comfortable there in front of nobody I knew, no one who knew me, no one who had a preconceived notion of who Brian was. I presented myself as a guy who played guitar and wrote and sang his own songs.
Hey, Brian, it's interesting. I have
over a couple of years,
we have a fan who was at your show at Max's Kansas City. I have to say, that's really cool. Susan Fine is a good friend of our show, and she just commented she saw you in Max's Kansas City back in the day. That's cool. She's a true New Yorker, and this is the weirdest case of 6 steps of separation I've seen. Is that cool?
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh,
it's cool.
God. That is the coolest thing. Oh my God. Oh, what's her name? Susan?
Yes, Susan Fine. Susan, do you have any questions
her name
for
Susan?
Brian? Her name is Susan, yes.
Oh my God.
And she's a great fan of our show. I'm looking to see if she has, she just commented she was at your shows, and she said, I still have Hot Wheels, and Weebles do fall down if they have too many drinks. That's a hard lesson I had to learn, man.
Oh my God. That's fantastic.
That is really cool.
I'm having
here we are. Bringing people together, man.
Yeah.
It's all about the hang, Brian.
It is, and that's what I've just learned myself. Just learned that.
Yep. It's always about the hang.
So, oh my God, that really, I forgot what we were even talking about. That was incredible.
That blew my mind too, but I'll tell you what, Susan was like all over New York in those glory days, and she knows everybody. She's talked to everybody. she saw a lot of amazing acts, CDGBs, all those kind of places. And I mean, Max's was like you say, I was a kid here wishing I could get into Max's, 15, 14-year-old kid. And I'm like, oh man, I read about it in Cream magazine. And of course I'm like, it's only 40 miles from where I live, but there's no way my scrawny ass was going to get into a club back in the day.
Well, back then in the early 70s, I had some good management. And so I literally played Max's was within the year that Bob Marley played there and opened for Bruce Springsteen.
Right.
Before I played Max's, I played the Mercer Arts Center and used to hang out with this group called the New York Dolls.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Love those guys.
I played the Bitter End because, that's where everybody played. It was a different scene. It was a wonderful business. It made sense back in the day. You made a name for yourself in your own region. Then there were talent scouts that would go around and you could connect with them, and they were from major corporations, regular business. Right. And you would go and you would showcase for them. They would either sign you to a development deal or sign you right up. Then you had, right? And then you had regular business. They were going to want you to develop a commercial product, and you were going to try and be more artistic. There was a struggle. Sure, no problem. And then you were going to be dealing with businessmen who wanted to underpay you and pay themselves more. Wow, what a shock.
Yep.
No, that was no problem either. The main problem I have is nowadays, none of that was difficult for me to comprehend. What's difficult now is that, 200 million people make their CD every day on their computer and then release it. How are you supposed to let anyone know you're out there?
Right.
It's breaking through that noise.
It's different now. And also the difference is, well, also truthfully, the difference is when I started out, I did not want to be. I knew there were promotion men and businessmen and money counters and all the kinds of things that run business and will sell your product. I appreciated that they were there, but I absolutely never had a desire to spend all my life promoting myself. I wanted to, and that's still true. So the idea that in this new world, you can be your own businessman, and that also means you have to be your own relentless promotion person. You also have to be all the things you never wanted to be because you wanted to be a musician. So it isn't necessarily an advantage to go, I get to do it all myself. When you're an artist or a musician, songwriter, I don't care. You get tired of talking about yourself, like, hey, I got this, hey, I got this, hey, this is, you wish that you weren't left alone to be your own everything.
Right. Well, I feel the same way about my show. I'm trying to broaden our market, and I hate just, you can't make a show if you're just, getting your friends. You have to broaden it. It's like you say, the promotion effort's never ending for us. It's similar to like you, we're a two-man shop, but a woman in a man's shop. But anyway, it's the same thing. When I try to promote the show, I wonder, some of my friends are like, okay, we have to deal with you all the time anyway. Last thing I do is hear you run your mouth for another hour. It's just the way it is.
Right? I mean, you have a quality product and you kind of go, now I wish there was one other person who would really enjoy promoting it.
Right.
Do that for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, the industry's changed so much.
All right, wait, am I frozen? Am I frozen? You want me to come back one more time?
Yes, that would be great.
All right, hang on.
Hey, Julie, run a spot while Brian. Go ahead and run a spot while Brian's
all right, you got it.
Getting reordered. Take your time, Brian. We're just going to run a spot, and we'll be right back with Brian MacDonald. For anybody who's watching, Brian is an excellent guitar player. It's Brian, M-A-C, capital D-O-N-A-L-D. And for everybody, this is my Christmas ball. I'm trying to find the other one. I'm not sure quite where it is, but
Has it dropped?
I can do. Maybe not. Maybe that's the problem. It's supposed to have.
It didn't drop.
It just hasn't dropped. It's a retained testicle, I guess, as they would call it.
Oh, all right. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
For bonus content, extras, and all sorts of cool goodies, become a patron. Go to Patreon, Live with Neve.
See, now I think
All right.
this is a good time to discuss that. So on our Patreon, you will notice we're still building it up, but you get some gifts if you become a patron. Very simple. We have special episodes on our Patreon. So if you go to Patreon Live with Neve, and the show will come up, you will be able to purchase or for a donation. You get extra bonus content and other pieces to previous interviews, all that good stuff. So don't take my word for it. Just go check out patreon.com, look up Live with Neve, and check us out. You can see some videos there. You can get some really cool stuff for a couple of bucks. So just to throw it out there. And we have Mr. MacDonald back. Yay!
All right,
Yep,
here he is. The one and only Brian MacDonald. So where do you see the industry in a year or two, Brian? You think we're going to still be in this crazy thing with the COVID? What's your prognostication on that?
I don't see how things can return that quick.
Yeah.
Even with, if you really pay attention to when the vaccine and okay, you're talking another length of time. Okay.
Right.
I'll probably try and do some outdoor things, but I'm not comfortable playing outdoors if I'm endangering other people. If I'm safe, but you all out there are kind of not safe, that doesn't, that's not the path I travel. So, I'm going to work very hard developing more of an audience for online shows. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I have fun with those. The Christmas show is fun. In February, what I'm doing is, to show you how far I'm going on this, in February, what I'm doing is I'm recording a new album live online of new songs.
Oh, good.
A new album.
Great.
Live online at one of the shows. And then I'll mix that album. Then I'll mix it down and put on it. Right? But the songs will have the energy at that time. And then I'll lightly overdub and mix them. I'm going to keep it sparse, personal. But I thought that was another great idea. And, you know, on February's show, I'm going to be singing a brand new album.
Excellent. So tell me, Brian, where can our fans find your music?
I'll stop when they make me stop. I'm sorry, what, my friends?
I'm sorry, the lag time screws us up bad, but I'm curious, where can people find your CDs and all that good stuff? And just tell everybody again, because we're going to roll up pretty soon. Give us an idea where we can find you. I know where all things Brian are, but I'm going to let you tell them because it's your gig.
You can find me on every one of those platforms. Spotify, Amazon, you can find the videos on YouTube, iTunes, everywhere you buy or listen to music. All the albums are there, the 4 that I've resurrected, okay? And you can also, which is fun, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is Brian MacDonald Music.
Okay.
One word. And you'll go to the channel, and there's like 100 videos there of live performances and things, and all the online shows are on there that I've done so far.
Great.
And they're just there, so you can actually, if you're snowed in some night, you could sit back and go, I'm going to watch an hour's concert. And you can, what I did was I went through each album, and I performed each album in sequence, in order, live.
Cool.
Huh.
Well, excellent.
Good idea.
That's great. I've listened to your stuff periodically because I've been going through the pile trying to see what I asked you a long time ago if I could put one of your tunes on my record. And I got a couple in mind. I like the on the
Cover one.
the wolf. I'm sorry, I'm going to botch the title. An old wolf looks back at 40 or whatever. How did it go? What was the title? I'm sorry.
The old wolf starts looking back.
That's it. That's it. Okay.
I like that.
Julie, I have to say, this is a good album. Actually, all his stuff is good, but I particularly enjoyed some of the cuts on that.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Well, so Brian, you have any great plans for Christmas other than stay home and safe?
That title came from the staying home and safe, and being grateful and thankful that I'm home safe and with the lady I love.
Good.
Is your lovely wife in the room watching the show? Oh, crap. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap this up. We love Brian, but we're having too many comm problems. He's up in Hartford, Julie's in Florida, and I'm here in New York. We have no idea why, and it really stinks.
It's just the technology is working to catch up. So,
yeah, it happens. So, Brian, if you like the show, please do sign up for our YouTube channel. We need all the help we can get. And so other than that, I guess we're going to sign off. We've had the wonderful and talented Brian MacDonald on, and we're going to have him back on again after the first of the year, talk about his upcoming record project. And I hope you've enjoyed the show. So we're going to say goodbye. Merry Christmas. And I hope you all have a great rest of the week. We're not quite to the weekend yet, but I'm sitting here waiting on 2 feet of snow. So I'm hoping.
Have fun.
A lot of my friends watching this are sitting there going, I don't want any of this snow. I don't want any snow at all. If Brian comes back, we're going to let him say goodbye, and then we're going to go ahead and call this a wrap. I'm going to get Brian on just now, and we're going to say our goodbyes. And here he is. He's back.
Go ahead.
There he is. So sorry, Brian. So
hey, this is nothing again, besides.
What is the lone? Tell us the story behind the name of your last record, "The Wolf Looks Back."
Sure, it's the first line, first verse of the first song on that album, and it just says, running hard at the head of the pack, the old wolf starts looking back.
Nice
line. I love it too.
These songs reflect how I feel a lot, and I just found that the more personal you make a lyric, the more universal.
Oh, what happened?
He's still there.
There he is. The more you think you've just written something only about yourself,
right,
the more it applies to everybody.
That's true.
True. That is
what
true.
The fuck? Oh, sorry, I didn't say that. See what I mean? It's sometimes inappropriate. I know. It's like an episode of Trailer Park Boys.
It was very expressive. We all knew what you were upset about.
It's funny. We have a friend of ours who's on. Frank Manzi's been on the show. So if you want to see some great rock and roll, check out Frank's new album. Frank Manzi, M-A-N-Z-I. If you want, sign up for my YouTube channel, and you can see my 2 interviews with him over the past year. He's just put out a great new album called The Becca Sessions, And he's got some amazing musicians on there, and we're going to have him on again. We've got Brian back, but
Let's
I'm going to
just
get
sign
Brian
out.
on so we
I
can
think we're
say
gonna
our
have to sign
goodbyes.
out.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, we got you back.
Yep,
We're going to go ahead and
say
wrap.
goodbye.
Yes, I know. It's so hard saying goodbye, isn't it? Oh, Brian. Oh,
Oh,
Brian.
please don't go. Don't go.
Oh, man.
I
So
figure I
everybody
better
who's
hurry up
watching,
and
I tell you, man, the lag time's
You
killing me, brother. Hey, listen, everybody, this has been Brian MacDonald, a very good friend of mine who's just the man, the myth, and the legend, all above. All of us here at Live with Neve, we wish you a happy week, and we'll have more shows starting tomorrow again. So check us back, and we'll be posting our next month's scheduled gigs. And we hope to have Brian back again as he gets closer to working on his new album. And hopefully we can get you to play a little something live, because the people who don't know you, the
Thank
proof's
you.
in the pudding, man. And you definitely, you've got it down after all 20,000 shows. I think we can hire you without an audition.
Yeah, right. Oh, jeez.
You know, hey, man, I love you, Brian. Say hello to your wife from me and Annie and from Julie.
Yes, please.
You know, hopefully we'll get together and hang sometimes. I love that. I love Black Eyed Sally's. The best barbecue I've had. And I mean, other than when I'm down south, and always enjoy that venue. So we'll see you next time. Everybody, we're going to sign off. Brian MacDonald, check out his page. And bye. You've been on Live with Neve. Ah!
Thanks, Neil.
Follow, subscribe, like us anywhere you find webcasts and on all of our social media to get bonus material.
All right, all right.